Astrid Wendland, rédactrice en chef de Miss Tweed, et je suis devant le Plaza Athénée à Paris, où je vais rencontrer Attila Kiss, le PDG de Gruppo Florence, qui est un grand groupe qui veut devenir l'un des plus grands fournisseurs de l'industrie du luxe. Il va me raconter en détail ses ambitions, ses projets. On y va. Attila, thank you so much for accepting to give us an interview to Miss Tweed.
I am the CEO of the Gruppo Florence. This is a very new young project where we put together some Italian companies of the supply chain, the Italian made in Italy supply chain.
So how did you have the idea? Is it your idea?
The idea is coming from the entrepreneurs. These companies are family-owned companies. They are working with very huge groups, brands, which are multinational and international companies, billions of turnover, and they are very small companies in front of these big clients. And the services they need to deliver to these brands are more and more sophisticated. So they realized even if they are very strong in the product development and they have very specific know-how on the product, from the point of view of the services they need to give to the brands. So we created the Gruppo Florence holding. The investors we joined are very strategic investors. We have Francesco Trapani, former Bulgarian, former LVMH in the group of the investors. He is the president of the board of directors of the holding.
And he's also his VAM investment.
Yeah, he using VAM investment for this kind of projects, and with VAM investment he is one of the big investors in this project.
So who else you have as investors?
We also have the Fondo Investimento Italiano, which is a state-owned fund. It was realized by the Ministry of Finance and Economy with the purpose to help Italian excellence to grow. So our mission is exactly fitting with the mission of the Fondo Investimento Italiano. They have, of course, very strong possibilities to help. And then we have another one, Italmobiliare. Italmobiliare is coming from Carlo Pesenti, the family Pesenti.
The idea, you say, came from various entrepreneurs, but who decided we go now?
I think the rule of Francesco Trapani was key because the entrepreneurs decided to go, but we needed a strong partner. So VAM investment was key in this.
You mean Francesco Trapani?
Francesco Trapani personally, because of course
he's a great expert.
As a great expert. He's a very good leader, and he can help us a lot to make happen what we have in our mind. The brands need that all the supply chain follow the sustainability policy of the brand.
And more and more, right?
More and more.
Can you tell us a bit about that? Because there has been quite a lot of announcements from brands saying that they were really going to redouble efforts to
I think
change things.
This is a trend that is started even before the COVID, but with COVID the consumer is more and more demanding from this point of view, that the social, ethical and sustainability aspect by the brand is very accurate. Mm-hmm. And the brand need to transform this in a strong point of the brands. All the brands try to make it better than they used to do it before. So they ask to all the supply chain to adequate to this level of service in sustainability and the traceability of this. So we can.
That's a big point, traceability. The traceability of leather, traceability of
where it's coming from.
Textile, right?
Yeah, the first point is the traceability, because with the traceability you can check where it's coming from. The second point is, okay, in this traceability, all the steps has the right conditions or not. If not, we have to change or we have to improve it.
Some brands say, can you make sure that we don't have cotton from made, from the Uyghur? I'm not going to pronounce it.
Yeah.
That Chinese region.
Yeah.
Have they said we are concerned by these? Reports by United Nations,
Yeah.
many independent associations and human rights protection movements that are investigating the treatment.
This is exactly the point. So they need the brands. First of all, the material the choice is made by the brand usually, not by us. But we can make sure that all that we buy exactly from where the brand indicated. So we give the traceability of the product we give to the brand, and they can check that we are buying where we are buying and which are the companies, which are the conditions in the companies where we are buying from.
But have you had this specific question about the Uyghurs? Has it been asked?
No, because they make the choice where to buy the cotton. So usually what happened that the brand tell us, okay, to realize this finished product, you have to go to buy the cotton here or there. So the brand make this choice, but we have the possibility to check what is happening in that companies, and we can help the brand to make the right choice. Not the wrong one.
And that's become more and more important with time, right?
Yes. It's very important because all the brands want to defend their own reputation. They want to check that all the supply is in the correct conditions, and if there is a mistake in the supply, they risk their own reputation. The group is increasing quickly because we have in pipeline other 6-7 companies.
So today, how many you have? So can you tell me about the three?
Today we can talk about 3, and the 4 is we will announce very, very shortly. The 6th, 7th, and the other companies arriving within the next 3-4 months. Any case. So within June, July, I think we will have several announcements of new arrivals.
So today, who are they?
The first 3 companies where we started when we started in November, Giuntini is specialized in outwear and flue, so all the textile, let's say Chenetram for the French. We have CMC Fashion, which is specialized in the leather garments, and we have a knitwear company, the name is Melis. All these 3 companies are working already for top brands. All these companies has the capacity of product development, research, product development, and production. They are able to cover all the process from the beginning to the end and deliver the finished product. And the families that founded these companies today are shareholders in the holding. So what we created is that they are still involved with their own capital in the business. They are still involved managing the single companies, but they are involved on the top in the holding. So if they are involved in the holding, it means that they work in the same direction. So in the mid of 2021, we will be able to give a service in any kind of products. Then the brand will make his own choice if use us in one product or the other. Is up to the brand, but we will be able to give them a service in several different.
And then leather goods like shoes. I know that, for example, Louis Vuitton has a major production plant in Tuscany, no?
Yes, yeah? Yes.
And I think Saint Laurent and Gucci, they all have.
All the big brands. The trend is that the big brands has 1 or 2 plants for production. Of course, they are not producing 100% of what they need. Maybe they are up to to 30% of what they need. The other 70% is still made by external, usually Italian companies.
So that's where you're hoping to come in, right?
So probably we will go take part of this 70% that they produce outside.
I would like to ask you, are there other companies doing the same in Italy as you?
Not with our business model, but there are some other projects where some companies they put together. There are some projects where a bigger company buying some small companies.
Like which one?
One is a Pattern, for example, but they are, let's say, the project is smaller than our biggest company, so we do it in a bigger dimension, but the strategy is very similar.
What is your target in terms of sales? In the next 2 to 3 years, how much sales?
Yeah, so I think we will increase both in the companies joining the group. Each one we have some commercial plan to let them increase. I think the point of arrival is that we will have some hundreds of euro of turnover, millions of euro of turnover, in two ways, with add-on new companies that are arriving to the group, and with the increase of the existing companies. But there is also a question of how the people is capable to work together. So the challenge for this project is that all these people together will create, I call it an orchestra. We have several single players which are excellent players, but all together we can create a symphony, which is much more than summarizing the single players.
Now, why the French are not doing that? Why is there not such a big base production facility in France?
I think Italy is the only country today in the world where we have, for each kind of product, we have all the supply chain in the same country.
And there's not in France?
Much less, because in Italy we have supplier of the textile, the fabrics, we have supplier of the leather, we have supplier of all kind of materials, we have finished products producer in each kind of materials, each kind of product, finished products, from bag to shoes, all kind of ready to wear. This is something unique. We don't have this in any other countries. In France we have very specific areas.
Like what is France good at?
For example, in France, in the area of Nantes, we have a very nice area of flue production. But if we compare the two countries, in Italy we have everything. We have the flue, we have outwear, we have the doudou, we have everything in Italy, and not only the finished product, all the supply chain from the material to the finished product.
Now, VAM investments, they're in it for how long? Because, private equity firms, they have an exit.
This is also a very special situation in our project. Usually the funds, investment companies, are for 3-4 years of investment. In our case, we have 3 investors with a more strategical view.
A long term also? Or?
Of course, they are not forever. They have, in any case, a mission. But the mission is more with a long-term strategy, and of course they want to bring us somewhere. Where we want to arrive, we would like to arrive to the stock exchange.
So the IPO in 5-10 years?
Yeah, I think it could be even less, but it's more the vision. Usually the funds are not able to understand only the strategy. They just invest. They want the results in 3 years, 4 years, and then an exit. In our case, all the 3 investors has a strategical vision, and then how long will be, we will see. We'll see how quick we can build up what we want to build up, but we want to build up together.
And last question, Gruppo Florence, the name?
Gruppo, we wanted to let understand people that this is a group, so we are an orchestra, okay?
And Florence?
And Florence, because in Florence started the Renaissance, in Florence started the culture of manufacturing. So in Tuscany, we have a huge part of the luxury manufacturing also today, because there is a long tradition. Of course, in our group, we are not going only in Tuscany, even if the first 3-4 companies are coming from Tuscany, but the next one is coming from Umbria, then from Marche, someone from Lombardia, and from Veneto. So it's a made in Italy project, let's say, but the start and the hair is coming from Tuscany, and the tradition.
And the company is based where?
The company, so all the companies stay where they stay. Our headquarters will be in Milan, because today Milan, in any case, is the place where designers, where is the fashion capital of Italy. So we will have a headquarters in Milan.
Great. Thank you very much for having us today.
Thank you.